ARich, Hakeem Richards, in Buffalo. There he goes. There he
What up?
goes. DM3, Dave
What
Myers,
up?
the
What
content
up,
king
man?
himself. What's going on?
Content king? What you talking about?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. What you doing? Not like we haven't been talking all day, right?
Right. Well, this is what we do. This is what we love to do. We've had the 2020 NFL draft. Now that I have you on, now that I have some help, man. Take the wheel, man. Take the wheel. What you think?
Take the wheel? Come on, this is your show. I'm just jumping on here for the hell of it.
What you think? What you think about the draft, man? What you think about our picks? Let's break down and assess each draft pick. Let's go one by one. How do you feel about each pick one by one? The position we drafted and how you feel about the player. Start with AJ.
Well, I think at 54, we were probably going to take the best player available, right? Brandon Beane came out and said he wasn't going to trade up from 54. So everybody's thinking, look at the running backs that are sitting there at 54. Dobbins was sitting there at 54, right?
Right.
So everybody's like, why the hell didn't we take Dobbins at 54? But if you look at the body of work of Epinesa, he's unreal. I mean, he played against high talent, and he played well against high talent. He's not from a small school where he was just pushing over nobodies. Mm-hmm. So I think this bodes well because now we have a problem with too many defensive ends. Where 2 months ago, we were worried about who the hell was playing defensive end. Shaq's going to leave. What are we doing with Trent Murphy? We got Jerry Hughes and Daryl Johnson, and that's it. Everybody's like, well, let's move Oliver to end and whatever. But I think it's a slam dunk, and he fell. He's a top 25 talent. He fell to 54. Why would you not take him? Regardless, I mean, that's what the best player available means, right? You take the best guy available.
Right.
So
right. And that's what I believe that fans are confused about. We have a GM and a head coach that's actually telling the truth about what they're doing. I think that's rare with NFL GMs and NFL organizations. We tell you, listen, there's a lot of teams that's going to be like, listen, we're going to go ahead, we're going to get the best player available, we're going to get our guy that we feel fits our team. But everybody in the world know they need a damn right tackle, and guess what they do? They're going to go ahead and get that right tackle. Brandon Beane, he tells you, listen, we're going to go best player available, and I believe that pick with AJ proves exactly what he means and exactly what he says, going best player available.
Yeah, and he said in his press conference after the loss of the Texans that they're going to go get playmakers, and he went and got Diggs, one of the best ones you can get. So,
right.
Brandon Beane is it's unreal to actually have a GM that is fucking intelligent and is not just sitting out here throwing money at people, wasting draft picks. Everybody's talking about the draft that the Dolphins had on the NFL Network.
Right.
I don't think they did that good at all for the amount of picks that they had.
Right. I think they did better as the draft went along, but I don't think they had the impact they should have had.
I don't know. Is Tua's not even going to play this year? I don't think.
May or may not.
I don't know. All right, so let's move on.
All right, so Zach Moss, man. Zach Moss, like you said, a lot of people did like the AJ pick, but the people that didn't like the AJ pick was because J.K. Dobbins was sitting right there. We go ahead, we got Zach Moss in the third round. After assessing Zach Moss and looking at what you need to look at about him, what you think about our draft selection, how he pairs with Devin Singletary, how you feel about what he can bring to our Buffalo Bills.
Well, in our group chat, we've been talking about running backs for like 2 months. So I was all in on Jonathan Taylor. I mean, when he got drafted, that was like a punch in the gut. But if you look at Zach Moss, I think he's what we wanted in Frank Gore, but he's better out of the backfield catching too. He's highly underrated out of the backfield. He's going to help Allen in those check down situations, but he doesn't get tackled. He was second in college football in the last 3 years in broken tackles. So he's that guy that,
Similar to Singletary coming out of college, also breaking tackles.
Yeah, so he's that guy that you're just gonna if you're up in the fourth quarter, you just keep handing it to him, keep feeding it to him, and let him just wear down defenses. So I think it's a good pick. It's not the sexy pick that everybody wanted, the Dobbins or the Akers, or Jonathan Taylor or CEH or whatever, but I think it's a good pick. I think it's gonna help this offense. Nothing but help the offense.
Yeah, man, I really like the pick. I like the dynamic he brings, Zach Moss. We have 3 running backs right now in Singletary, Zach Moss, and TJ Yeldon that's capable receivers out the backfield, and I think that's going to help Josh Allen a lot.
Yeah, they signed undrafted free agent Anthony Williams from Carolina too.
Anthony Williams from Carolina. I gotta look into him.
Yeah, he plays in the ACC, so not stiff competition, but
right.
He's decent. He'll push Yeldon and Wade for sure.
Really, Anthony Williams.
Yeah,
Definitely. Our 3rd round selection, Gabriel Davis from UCF, man. 6'2", almost 6'3", 216, 218 pounds, 4'5", 440. Vertical threat. He has good ball skills. He has a big catch radius. He has a lot of things you can't teach, in my opinion, and all his flaws are correctable. All his flaws are teachable, in my opinion. I love the pick. Tell me what you think about the Gabriel Davis pick.
Yeah, it's the big body guy that we need, right? I mean, with picking him and taking Hodgins, I don't think that Duke Williams is going to make the roster.
Whoa!
And I think,
whoa!
I'm not. I've never been sold on Duke Williams. I like Duke Williams. I pushed for the guy all last offseason. I just don't think that he is that guy. He had a hard time getting on the field. He was inactive. He was on the practice squad. He wasn't on the 53 for most of the season. I just don't think he has what it takes. Is his heart in the right spot? Yeah, he's got the heart and determination. That doesn't always equate. But looking at, I don't know, man. I think that this guy is going to be. He's gonna make the roster. I have a feeling. I mean, he's 3rd round pick, or what? 4th round, 5th round, 4th round.
He's a 4th round pick. He's a mid round pick. He's definitely make the roster. He's definitely making the roster.
I'm all messed up, man. It's been a long 3 days, but I think he's Davis. I think he's definitely making the roster. I don't have any issues. He's a long body, and watch his footwork too. He's got amazing footwork. I posted a couple of videos. I mean, just watch his footwork. It's nice. His footwork is nice off the line.
And again, he brings a dynamic to our Buffalo Bills receiving corps that I don't think we have. Duke Williams is. I disagree with you a little bit. I like Duke Williams. I think that.
Wait, hold on. Do you like Duke Williams, or do you like the thought of what Duke Williams can be? The thought of Duke Williams.
I like Duke Williams, but this is the thing about like Duke Williams. I like Duke Williams, but I think where people confuse Duke Williams is I like Duke Williams for a specific receiver spot. I think Duke Williams is an excellent number 4 receiver. It all depends. How do you view these guys? Now, if you're thinking, Duke Williams, I don't like Duke Williams. You're thinking number 2 starter. Then Duke Williams is. I don't think Duke Williams is that. But as far as a depth guy, as far as bringing in a guy in the rotation, we at the 15-yard line, and now we need a bigger red zone threat. As far as being a guy like that, a number 4 receiver, I like Duke Williams, and I think that it's a minor red flag for Cole Beasley, the fact that Duke Williams got so much playing time in that playoff game. I think it's a minor red flag for Cole Beasley in that retrospect. I believe Duke Williams in that playoff game because he posed a more of an imposing body. He was a bigger target for Josh Allen, and I believe because of that, he got more snaps. I don't want to veer off from Gabriel Davis, but Gabriel Davis, in my opinion, is a guy that has a very high ceiling, and he has all the things you can't teach and all the things that are his weaknesses are correctable, are teachable, like his route running. A lot of people say he's a sloppy route runner. Well, guess what? You're coming to the Buffalo Bills where you have 3 of the best route runners in the business. So I like that pick. I believe he gets a chance to develop, and he can come and contribute in red zone situations and learn behind some of the better receivers in the league that we have without Trio.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody says he wants to be the contested catch guy, but because he's big, right? So he should get contested catches, right?
So my Duke or Gabe?
Duke.
Right.
So, all right, stupid trivia fact for you. Who has, since 2017, who has the highest percentage of contested catches in the NFL?
Diggs.
Right. How tall is Diggs?
About maybe 6 foot.
6 foot. 6 foot. He's as tall as me.
Right.
So, I mean, it's athleticism. At some point, you have it or you don't. And I think that some of the Brandon Beane bringing in these taller receivers is just trying to quiet the masses of down. We need this big body guy. You screwed up when you got Kelvin Benjamin, and then now you got Duke Williams, and you're not using him. And so we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Right now, you know what it is. I think it has to. It's like breaking it down to the least common denominator now. You know, the Buffalo Bills. We don't have many holes. It's not too many glaring needs the Buffalo Bills have. Okay, so since it's not too many glaring needs the Buffalo Bills have. Now let's break it down to the least common denominator. What dynamics are we missing? We don't have no holes. What dynamics are we missing? We are missing the dynamic of having a big guy that has a big catch radius. So we don't have a glaring need, but we are missing that dynamic. So let's go ahead and fill that dynamic with Gabriel Davis. We have Duke Williams. Duke Williams fills a dynamic because he's 6'3", 6'4", but he also runs a 4.7 and have trouble separating. So now let's add another dynamic with Gabriel Davis, who's 6'2", 6'3", and is a vertical threat, which Duke Williams is not. He's a big man, but he's not a vertical threat. He's an intermediate threat. So I believe that we went into breaking it down to the least common denominator and adding a dynamic we didn't have before with Gabriel Davis. So that's why I like the pick. He brings a completely different dynamic to the offense.
I can see that. I see that. But I also think that Dawson Knox can be our big guy in the red zone mismatch guy. You know, and I think, you know, a lot of people are sleeping on Tommy Sweeney.
Yes. G1, what's going on? DM3, Bobby said, nice hat. Aiden Route joined. Aiden, what's going on? Zlo Grew 21. Am I pronouncing that right? What's going on? Bills 32 NYC. Miss Roderick. Owen Hammer, what's going on? Got to shout out some of my boy Sam. What's going on, man? What's going on? Live Hard. What's going on? Peter. I got to shout out some of my people, man. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you joining. We're just assessing the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills 2020 draft. We spoke about Gabriel Davis. Let's get into something interesting, because I believe we both felt that the Buffalo Bills needed a backup quarterback at some point. Me personally, I would have went the veteran route, but I understand going the veteran route is going to cost some dollars that may affect extensions or improving the roster elsewhere or what have you. How do you feel about our 5th round selection in getting from Georgia?
I think last time we were on here, I said that I thought Barkley's time was numbered. His days were numbered. So this just proves that Brandon Beane understands, number one, the dynamic of financially how much we're paying Barkley. Number two, that we're running out of money real quick. We're going to be broke here real quick after we pay these draft picks. Good thing we don't have to pay a first rounder, but you get from, right? Arguably, going into the start of this season, could have been the first round draft pick, and then this season played out, he fell. Okay? Still should have went in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Right.
And he's sitting there in the 5th round And Brandon Beane said, I gotta take him. He's sitting there. I gotta take him.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that happens? He doesn't make the team, and then we're still back to square one, and you lost the 5th round pick when a lot of people were saying anything after the 4th round, we don't need those picks. They're not making the team. Right. So, I mean, I'm okay with it. A lot of people were pissed off because what does this mean? And we love Matt Barkley, and what does this mean for Allen? It doesn't mean shit for Allen. It means Barkley got put on notice. That's exactly what it means. Show up to camp, and you better work your ass off. Also, too, I think that Allen's learned everything he can from Barkley. I don't think there's anything else that Barkley can teach Allen that he doesn't already know.
Excellent point.
You know? So, and why not go the cheaper route? How much is a 5th rounder going to cost you? You know?
Not much.
Not much at all. And then use that money, if you cut Barkley, and use that money to go towards, you know, extending somebody next year, Milano or Dawkins or something. So, what do you think? What was your take on it? We were chatting earlier, but what's your real take on it?
He said, "What's my real take?"
Yeah, come on, man.
It was my fake take before, but nah. I think it's an interesting selection. I like Jake Fromm. I like his game. Buffalo is a difficult place for his athletic ability. I don't think he has the strongest of arms. Maybe when he's in game and that adrenaline is flowing, that arm strength is a little bit more than what it was. But I did think it was an interesting selection based on the location where we're at and his arm strength. I do like the selection because he was the best quarterback available. Not only was he the best quarterback available, we need a backup quarterback, in my opinion. We're too in love. We fallen too in love with Matt Barkley. You know, it's like us as Bills fans, we look at Matt Barkley as like a relationship. You know, the relationship. You had one great year in the relationship. Y'all been together 5 years. The first year was great. The last 4 years been like shit. But y'all still together, hoping y'all can get back like it was the first year. You know what I'm saying? That's what Matt Barkley is. But the relationship, it sucks. It is what it is. I'm not saying Matt Barkley sucks, but he is what he is. We got him off the streets for a reason. So I like the pick because of that. It's going to push Matt Barkley. I like the pick because I believe he has a high IQ. He's a winner, and he brings some leadership to the quarterback room. So because of those things, and it doesn't hurt to take a quarterback. Why? Because like you said, like the media outlet said, what's the chances of these 5th rounds and 6th round picks and 7th round picks making the team? You know, it depends on how you look at it. They might not make the team. At the same time, the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane and that staff, they do scout well enough and they do draft well enough to find players late to make the team. So it all depends on which way you're looking at it. But I like the selection of Jake Fromm. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Not
at all. Moving on to the kicker, Tyler Bass. How you feel about drafting a kicker with the 6th round pick?
I don't know. I mean, I went back and watched some of his film. He's got a strong leg, but we're paying Hauschka. But I will say, from 50 plus, Hauschka has been 50-50 on the lower side of 50-50 the last couple of years. And we could have used his leg in the playoffs last year. A couple games I can think of, the Cleveland game, where he couldn't make the 57-yard or something like that. Anyways, I don't have an opinion on the kicker. It's a kicker, 6th round. What are you gonna do? We had 2 6th round picks. You might as well take. He was the best kicker in the draft. I mean, I'll put it that way. He was the best kicker in the draft. He looks like he's 12 years old, but I don't know. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I watched about 3 minutes of tape on him, and that's about it.
I think it's interesting. We like you said, we have house money, but house money has not been perfect. He's not a guarantee, especially from 50 yards. I believe that he's fell back in some good graces a little bit because he was clutch in the playoffs. We can't take that away from him. He did make that clutch field goal to send us into overtime. So
yeah,
he did do that. But overall, I believe ever since Hauschka got hit a couple of years ago on that late hit, I forgot who the team we played, but he took a
Seattle.
Seattle. Ever since he took that hit against Seattle, I don't think House Money's been the same since. So I understand why we went the direction in drafting a kicker. But again, it's a kicker. So it is a kicker.
Yeah.
Moving on. Isaiah Hodgins. This kid right here, the wide receiver from Oklahoma State, he's 6'4". He's about 220 pounds himself. I think he has a chance to do something. I think he has a chance. I'm thinking about the roster. I'm thinking about what the NFL is trying to implement. They're going to implement another game next year. They're trying to add a 7th playoff team. So you're adding more games. You're adding you're adding a 7th playoff team to build revenue for the playoffs. You're going to have to add more players to the roster. So it's possible in the near future, NFL teams are going to start carrying 7 wide receivers. 6 was the limit. 6 has been the limit for years. A lot of teams probably went 5 or 6, never 7. But because of what the NFL is trying to do, 7 receivers is definitely possible. And I really like Isaiah Hodges' game, and I think he has an outside chance here to make the team. What do you think about Isaiah Hodges based on the little time you got to evaluate him since he became a Buffalo Bill?
Yeah, I like him. I just think that at some point we're going to run out of roster spots for all these guys because
Oregon State, yes, Oregon State, definitely.
Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
Badgers. I like him. He's very similar to Davis. I mean, but he's 6'4", so he's a big boy. He's a little thin. He might need to put a little bit of weight on, but he's a good deep route runner. I mean, it's going to be hard for these wide receivers to make this roster. And it's funny how freaking 2 years has changed our wide receiver core. When we were bitching about the Kelvin Benjamins and the Jeremy Curleys and the Zay Jones and Robert Foster was our best receiver. He ain't making this team unless he plays special teams. But they're only going to expand the roster to 55 this year. So I don't know. I think it was a throw some crap in the wind and see if it sticks. To be honest with you.
Okay. You never know. Again, you never know. I like Isaiah Hodges, man. I think that he could have went a lot sooner. But again, GMs, scouts, they fall in love with draft and testing numbers, and he ran a 4.6. He ran a 4.6, and I believe him running that 4.6 is why he dropped. Let me ask you a question right quick about the scouting combine, because I feel that it's important, but I don't think it should be the final say so. The best receivers in the league do not run a 4.4. DeAndre Hopkins is not a 4.4 guy. He's a 4.5 guy. Michael Thomas is a 4.5 guy. We have Adam Thielen's a 4.5, 4.6 guy. Anquan Bolden's a 4.6 guy. Keenan Allen's a 4.6, 4.7 guy. Let me give me your thoughts of the wide receiver position and how you view it and what you look for in a wide receiver. Give me your thoughts on that. Give me your take on that.
Well, I think that, and I know I heard you talk about it when you first got on. I think the combine made Henry Ruggs the overall #1 receiver to go in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not better than Jerry Jeudy. He's not better than CeeDee Lamb. I mean, come on. I mean, you got to look at route running. If you can get open, you can get open. Look at Cole Beasley. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the fastest guy, but dude gets open, right? I mean, I don't know. I think if you know the route tree, if you can get release off the line. I mean, look at Diggs. People are going to lose their shit in Buffalo when they watch Diggs run routes in training camp. They're going to be like, holy shit, look at his feet. So the three cone to me is more important than the 40.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How can you move it? Like, how can you separate? I don't care if you can try to run past somebody. How can you separate at the line? That's the most important thing. How do you do against press coverage? That's important. You know, Do you know the route? Do you know the route tree? Can you get open? Can you contested catches? I don't care how fast these guys are. I don't. How fast was Andre Reed?
He wasn't. I don't think he was.
He wasn't no 4.4 guy. He wasn't a 4.4 guy.
Nope.
He got open though, right? He got open.
He was open.
So I mean,
he was always.
I don't know.
Gavin, what's going on? Gavin, what's going on? Yeah, man. Moving on. Me personally, I really like Dane Jackson, this corner out of Pittsburgh. I think that he's played at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not a top 10 program, but he played solid competition. And Dane Jackson, I like what he brings to the table. I like his confidence. I like the swagger that he brings. He's not the biggest of guys, but he got some length to him. And I think that he plays with an aggressive nature for his size. And I think he's going to push Tyron Johnson. And I think he has a chance to make this team. Give me some thoughts on Dane Jackson, how you feel about that pick in the 7th round.
I think he's making the team. I definitely think he's making the team. I have concerns with, obviously, EJ Gaines. I have concerns with Levi Wallace, and I have concerns with Josh Norman. So who knows what we're getting with Josh Norman? Was he in the wrong scheme in Washington? Yes. Levi Wallace was getting everybody's number one wide receiver because nobody was throwing on Trey, right? And he was getting beat. Jarvis Landry took him to the freaking cleaners more than one time in that game. And there was other times in the Miami game he got beat bad. I mean, I'm not completely sold on Wallace, to be honest with you, but I think if we're looking at let's look at it this way. Who's not going to make the roster at cornerback, in your opinion? Who's on the bubble right now as we sit here in April? Because I think Jackson makes the roster. I do.
I think Jackson makes the roster as well. Right now on the bubble to me is EJ Gaines right now.
Yeah.
EJ Gaines, I'm not sure if he's going to make the roster, not because he can't play, just because of it, I don't think he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping not, but at any point EJ Gaines could line up and could wind up on the injured reserve. So
I just don't know why we keep bringing him back. This is the 3rd time.
We bring him back because, like I said about relationships, we try to
maybe it'll work out this time.
Maybe it'll work out this time. So that's what it is. EJ Gaines, when he's on the field, he's a capable player. But he's never on the field. So we're going to give him this one final shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
Give me your overall thought. We're gonna wrap this up. Overall thought process of our Buffalo Bills and where we're at and where we stand right now. We've been through the whole offseason, this entire process through free agency. Now the draft has come and has went. We have a pretty good idea, of course, training camp, whenever that is, or whatever happens with the rest of the football activities because of the pandemic. We know there's going to be certain cuts and little transactions going on. The roster cuts and things of that nature. But for the most part, we have an idea of what our roster looks like. How do you feel about our Buffalo Bills roster, and where do you think we stand right now in the AFC?
I think, honestly, if I'm being honest, deep playoff run or it's a wasted year. With everything that we've done, everything is lined up like from the fucking heavens for this year. Tom Brady's gone, right? So we've been waiting. Bills Mafia's been waiting on this for 20 years. When's Brady going to retire? When's Brady going to leave? When's Brady going to retire? I don't think the Patriots are going to do anything else this offseason. I really don't. What are they going to do? Are they going to sign Cam Newton? Is anybody afraid of playing against Cam Newton or Andy Dalton? I'm not.
Or Jameis Winston?
Or Jameis Winston. Or, any of these guys. I think if it's not a deep playoff run, we're talking home, 1 or 2 home playoff games, I think it's a wasted, I don't want to say a wasted year, but I think that a lot of fans are going to be scratching their heads with everything that we have. This roster is the deepest I've seen it in probably 20 years, to be honest with you. There's no glaring holes. We need a second corner, but what else? What else do we need? What else do we need? Honestly, yes, we don't have that bona fide, Travis Kelce friggin' tight end, but you never know what we get with Dawson Knox, you know. But other than that, I mean, our secondary is amazing. The defensive line, like you said earlier, is going to be nasty, right? We're going to get after the quarterback. We're going to stuff the run because the AFC East just got a whole lot better too with Miami and the Jets. They're going to be running the ball like fucking crazy with these backs that they just got. But I don't know. I think deep playoff run or bust this year. What do you think?
Definitely home playoff game. I'm expecting a home playoff game. At the end of the day, you know, the season happens, things happens. You know, the setup to make the season go certain ways. But at the end of the day, I expect us to be in the playoffs. It's not a if we get to the playoffs. It's like, okay, you know, we're in the playoffs. Are we going to be slotted this year? Now it's like the expectations are different. You know, so I don't even want to talk about if we're making the playoffs. I want to talk about if we're going to be able to play a home game in the playoffs. So that's a goal. I think if we can get a home game in the playoffs, now we can do some. We can possibly make some noise if we can get a home game. So I'm expecting at least a home playoff game, and if we get that home playoff game, you never know what can happen. So
I agree. But you know what? How Buffalo Bills would it be to win the Super Bowl in an empty goddamn stadium and not be able to have a parade that the city's been waiting for 55 years? That would be just the Buffalo way.
You know what? I think that would be the Buffalo way. That would be crazy. I'm hoping by them. I would hope by them times that if the season has to be played with no fans, the Buffalo Bills do end up winning. I'm hoping that everything opens back up right on time for the parade, because then the parade would be mad. It would be sick. People will be excited to come back outside, and plus being Buffalo Bills fans and winning the championship, it would be bananas. So
I'd be on a 6 or 7 day bender. That's for sure.
That's for sure. I'll take it if we are winning the Super Bowl, to be honest. Peter, what's going on, Peter? What's going on? And man, we just felt the need. It was time. We gotta do this more. 2020 NFL Draft. Our Buffalo Bills drafted. I think our Buffalo Bills did well in the draft. We did as well as we could possibly do. Our draft selections, you have to include Stephon Diggs, and once you include Stephon Diggs with AJ and Zach Moss and Gabriel Davis, I think we did pretty well in this 2020 NFL Draft, man. I really do. Anything else to say before we get out of here, Dave?
No, I just think it's nice we drafted for guys that are going to have to fight to make the roster spots. Other than the first 2 picks that we had, everybody else is going to have to fight to make the roster, and that's how it should be. You know, you're doing the right thing when that's how it is. So,
definitely.
I'm good. I'm pumped, man. I'm ready. Hopefully, they can get mini camp or training camp sometime soon.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely
get these rookies in here.
We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully, we're gonna see the schedule now. It's coming out within the next couple of weeks. The schedule, so we'll see how much prime time games we have. We're gonna see who we are matched up with and how our week-to-week situation with the schedule is going to be. It should be interesting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Bills in Buffalo. You're looking at the co-founders right now. DM3, Dave Myers, my brother from another mother. ARich, Hakeem Richens. If you don't know me, get to know me. Bills in Buffalo. We're a growing brand. We're going to continue to deliver original content. We're going to continue to be consistent with our original content, and we appreciate all the support we've been getting on all social media platforms. We appreciate the subscribers we've been getting on YouTube. It's growing at a rapid pace, and me personally, I couldn't be happier, man. And it's ARich and King Richards, my brother Dave Myers, built in Buffalo, and we'll see you next time.